Well, we've whisked two very special reviewers out of the gig early and into the studio to give us a flavour of what it was like. Gemma Arterton is here, as well as the musician Anna Calvi. Gemma, firstly to you, what was it like? Was it what you expected?
No, I think everybody was so excited just to see her. When we arrived, you know, the expectation from the audience was immense, and there was just so much love coming from them and so much excitement. And then she kind of launched into a typical rock sort of gig, you know, which wasn't what we expected.
Yeah, it was kind of like, okay, this is cool, but, you know, you expected something more, and then suddenly the show went into the most crazy, kind of imaginative, creative world, which is what's so amazing about Kate Bush. And it felt like her brain, like you're inside her mind.
Yeah.
Well, we've got some stills, some images actually of what it was like tonight that we can bring up now. You say a crazy, imaginative, creative world, like her brain. I mean, what was that? What are we looking at on stage?
So she did, in the first half, she did sort of like a performance theatre-based, it felt like musical theatre or opera, based to her Ninth Wave, second half of her Hounds of Love album. So it's all about, you know, a shipwreck and being stranded at sea.
And for the non-specialist, Gemma, what year was that album out?
Oh gosh, actually, don't ask me that. I feel like it's the year I was born or something, or even maybe before I was born.
But sometime then, a long, long time ago. So she didn't commit that sin that musicians sometimes do, of coming on, playing all the new tunes to the fans and not giving them any old hits.
No, I mean, there was a combination. She did Hounds of Love, she did Running Up That Hill, which was a highlight, I think. Like, the whole audience just stood up and there was such an energy. And she did stuff from Ariel, which was released in 2005.
Yeah, I think she did a whole section on Ariel. It was just stunning.
But one of the interesting things about this, though, I mean, both of you, if I'm correct, and correct me if I'm wrong, weren't born the last time she performed on stage. Now, she was an exceptional artist at the time, but why do you think it is she's translated to a whole new generation? I mean, how did you become a fan in the first place?
I think a friend introduced me to her music, and as a singer, I was struck at how she can really channel so many different characters, but they all feel very uniquely her. It's like she uses these characters as tools to create something incredibly personal. And I think that's a very rare thing for someone to be able to do that.
Gemma, what about for you?
Yeah, I think I was just, it was my mum and my sister, well, it's my mum that got me onto her. And again, it was her storytelling and also her innate, absolute expression of femininity that was so, at the time, and it wasn't a sexualised thing, it was just...
She felt like your big sister or something.
Yeah, and just really loving, and a lot of her music, I mean, some of it is quite scary, and I remember as a kid I was always quite scared by her stuff, but it's sort of unapologetically feminine, and is really the most original female singer, I think, even now. And it has inspired so many other brilliant musicians, but she was kind of the first one.
But some people, though, would look at that and say what you describe as being original is, in the nicest possible way, a bit bonkers.
Yeah.
But it is. I think she's celebrating absurdity, the absurdity of life, and she's showing the beauty in it. And the things that she talks about are incredibly simple, about watching the sun rise, you know, about taking out the washing, but she shows you how beautiful they are. And this is the kind of the best thing about art, when it does this, when it transforms you and makes you see the simple things in a profound way.
What's a very simple question, though, all these years on, if you think back to those extraordinary vocal performances, I suppose, something like Wuthering Heights, tonight, how was her voice? Can she still deliver those performances in the way that she did?
Yes,
absolutely.
And as the show went on, it got better and better. Yeah. You could feel at the beginning that she was a bit nervous, and everyone was rooting for her, you know. And then as the gig went on, she just completely just soared. She just took off.
You made this sound like some kind of ultimate magical family reunion.
One of the best shows I've ever been to.
Yeah,
it really was. Just everything about it, you know, was just the energy and.
Even if I wasn't a big Kate Bush fan, and I went along to it. I think it was just, everything about it was so high. The quality of everything was so high and well thought out, and you don't see that with gig type stuff. You know, it was like a whole show, and
the detail was very unique.
And her son, her son.
So it was a family affair then. What happened with her son?
Her son was in the whole thing. He was there as a backing dancer, then he was there as part of the kind of the.
He was like an MC even, wasn't he? He sort of guided it, especially the aerial part. He was the painter in the whole in this section, and he does a whole musical number.
So she was keeping it in the family.
It's very touching.
Yeah, really touching.
Because she's so, you know, pushes the world away, and then for her to open up her life to an audience.
Very briefly, one of the things she did try to push away was people using their phones, whatever they had, their gadgets in their pockets to record or snap pictures of her. Just briefly, did people stick to that rule?
Yeah.
They did?
Yeah. I think everyone that was there was so appreciative of how special that night was, this night was, especially the opening night. And it just felt like everybody just wanted to be present. And it was amazing, yeah.
Thank you both so much. I feel I ought to apologise for dragging you away early, but we're very glad that you